I was just thinking about something, so I thought I would share. This is for the men and dating and with women, something that I've noticed. It seems like nowadays a lot of women, they just feel like you are supposed to do certain things, just get to know them. You say, Lawrence, what are you talking about? Go into more detail. All right, for example, you're a guy, you meet a woman, she's already not communicating with you well, showing any interest in you. Maybe she'll respond to you, but she's not showing any interest. That means as you're pushing, she's pushing. So that's the first sign. You already been putting up with that, texting, being weak, she ain't asked nothing. Now you trying to take her out. She'll let you take her out though, and that's really the requirement to go forward with. Oh, you gotta take me out, you gotta wine and dine me. Nothing simple. So now you're willing to do all this, but then here's the thing. When do you find out if you like her? What does she do to make you like her? What makes you want to even continue to get to know her? I guess if you don't have anything to go off of, it might just be her look. So you might just be sexually attracted, and that might just be your motivation, since that's all you got to deal with, right? Just the physical. Because she's not giving you any other stimulation. Communication is horrible. She'll just respond a little bit. And they always say men switch up. You know what changed? We'll get to that later. So I think about it for men. Think about a woman, because this is what I think a woman's job should be. Find the right man that she can support. When I mean support, he's already got the operation going on and all she's doing, because no one is perfect, all she's doing is asking him questions to learn him, figure out if he's the right guy first, and then figure out how can she add benefit to his life. How can she fill in the holes, the holes? Because nobody's perfect. So when you get with your mate, they're supposed to complete you, right? So those areas that you're missing, she's asking you questions, getting to know you, to feel comfortable, so she can fill in those blanks, so she knows her value in the relationship. She knows why she's around. She knows why you're talking to her. She knows these things because she's put in the work. That's how you know you got someone that's equally invested, where she's asking you questions to really figure you out. So if you got a woman that's just sitting around you, she's not trying to figure you out, not trying to understand you, and she just sits up on this pedestal and thinks you're supposed to just show interest in her, and it's usually by way of spending time and money. And then here's the second red flag I want you guys to know, to watch out for. We got that woman over there already that's not for interest, but then imagine when you're doing your job, you're asking questions, trying to go deep as soon as possible because you don't want to waste time. Because I'm going to come back to that. The woman that don't want to open up, we're going to come back to that. But then think about it too, though. This is why women waste time, because as fast as you figure out a man to really figure out if he can add value, if you can add value to his life, he can add value to your life. As fast as you know that process, you know what to ask him, you know what to look for, you know what situations you need to put him in and see him in. As fast as you do that, you won't waste time developing feelings or anything. You can figure out that guy if you're wasting time with that guy, but you got to be asking questions. And here's another thing I learned in my days. Women assume so much shit that they don't even take time to get evidence for. Like, I had them tell me something so confident, and it's like, hey, you have no evidence to support that. That's just a feeling. You can't feel that strong about something you can't even prove. Like, I love how women just be confident in something with no material evidence. It's like, hey, look, you're a little bit too confident. You know, ain't no receipts, right? So yeah, back to that. So when y'all having that, and you're seeing that she's just sitting around willing to waste time, like Joe said, she's not asking questions. She's just around. She's not trying to figure out who you are, what you do, all of that stuff. That's another red flag too, though, where you see her doing it. It's like, woman, why would you waste your time sitting around not trying to figure me out as soon as possible so you don't waste time? So I was wondering that. So yeah, back to where I was going with it. You asking questions, you're doing your job, trying to open up because here's the thing about being vulnerable. You can't expect someone to be vulnerable and open up with you if you're not vulnerable and opening up with them. So it's like, all right, it's the race to be vulnerable and open. What? Yeah. You'll say, I don't know you yet. I don't know you good enough yet. You'll say you're a stranger and all that stuff. It's like, hey, why aren't you trying to make me more familiar? How do we go through this process? It's by asking questions to figure out who and why this person does these things to really get an understand for the person. People are like, oh, I don't want to psychoanalyze you and all that stuff. It's like, all right, well, maybe you a psycho because you don't want to understand who you're dealing with and you just want some shit to happen. Is that what you want? This happens so many times. People don't really develop the skills to figure out what type of people they're dealing with and soon enough possibly even deal with. You hear all of these horror stories about women dealing with all these type of men, and then I put it on the men too. Men dealing with this type of women. It's like, but you've taken no accountability of why you allowed those things and didn't see them as soon as possible. And then, you know, the old beloved, oh, he changed. It wasn't like that. You liar. If you lie to me, you're going to steal. Know what I say? But no, basically, it's like you lying. The signs are always there. The signs are always there. But then that's you looking outwards instead of looking inward. Whenever I have an issue, I always ask myself, first question, hey, Lawrence, what could you have done better? The first thing I do is take total accountability to figure out what could I change before I try to blame anybody, because I know that's how I grow. That's how I make me better. So the person, these people they deal with these bad people, it's just like, hey, what was it? Why you didn't see that? If you go back and say, you know what? I seen it, but I still chose to do 4 hours back. All right, that's taking accountability. You knew you seen it. But don't just say that you didn't see it, there was no signs, because that's a real tall tale of yourself. You need to be asking yourself, hey, why didn't I see it? Why didn't I know these signs? Why wasn't I looking for that? So it's a learning experience, but you first have to be in a position where you want to take accountability. That is a self-builder, being accountable. So if you learn nothing from this conversation, from what I'm saying today, take with you the ability to be accountable, but that's the strongest character trait that you are going to have. When you can be accountable to yourself, then you're always building yourself. So there's no situation you're in where it was a bad situation. There were always learning situations where I like my guy, Steve, what is it, Saibo? I need to figure out how to say his name. In The Secrets of the, what is it called? The Secrets of the, I probably got right here. Let me put my screen down. The book got it right here. Dang, I can't believe The Secrets of the Inner Circle or something. I can't even remember the dang name. But he always say, always think about learning and grow. If that's the way you're thinking when you dig in a situation, that's all you're going to do. You're going to learn and you're going to grow from it. So that's the mindset. Remember, it starts with the mind. What you're thinking first determines the action. So if you're thinking that it's someone else's responsibility or someone else could have did something better, then you can't learn and grow from that. So now you have to ask yourself every time you say, what? You say, how can I learn and grow from this? How you learn and grow from that is taking accountability. That's it right there. So yeah, back to what I was saying though. Men, I really want to help y'all. This is for men and women because this works both ways. But so back, this is the men. I'm talking to them. If you're in a situation where you're trying to ask deep, provoking questions and the woman just won't open up or she don't want to talk to you about that stuff, I know it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. People be like, oh, no, fuck him. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. She's hiding something and she's not honest with herself, but she can't be honest with you. Yeah, people think that honesty is about, just lying to you. No, they have to lie to themselves first. They have to lie to themselves first and say, this is okay. So these are character traits. That's what we got to look. This is how we learn of people. We're watching what people do and we must accept it. When someone shows you, they are accepted. So if she won't open up or I don't know you like all that stuff, it's like, all right, I understand. So that's clear that we aren't going anywhere because it's a race to vulnerability. It's like, all right, but then it's after you make this choice though. If you say, you know what, I want to get to know this person, then here's the thing about how things work. That seems like a benefit. It's like you're investing for a benefit. You know, how do you get benefits? You got to be willing to give something up. You got to be willing to sacrifice something. You got to be willing to go through the tough time. You know what tough time is? Getting hurt again, being vulnerable, being open, and this person lets you down. You got to be willing to go through that to meet great people. Is that crazy? Yes. What is going on over here? Just him. Oh yeah, so that's really the truth that I don't think people talk about enough, and really why I think I get people to open up to me so fast, so soon. And it's the right people, because they see me being vulnerable first and comfortable being open. So it's like, dang, why can't I just be comfortable being open? Like, so, but I have to first be able to give that to want that though. And I'm okay with saying, you know what, this person might could use this against me. You know, all of the negative excuses that people will use to why they think they can't open up. And then you don't have to open up about everything. That's not like, all right, telling on yourself. That's a person that talks too much. So it's like, if you know that you did something by yourself because you wanted only you to know, or you did something with someone else and you guys are supposed to keep it between y'all, then that's where that stays. That's not the definition of being vulnerable and open. Being vulnerable and open is about the things that define you and made you who you are, and they were the tough times, and they may not be, most people may not feel comfortable talking about those things, and definitely to someone they just met. So now let's think about when you say you know someone. What makes you confident that you know this person? Is it the time you spent around them, or is it the conversations and the things you guys did in that time? For example, if we've never been through anything tough, defining moments or whatever, we can't feel confident that we know each other's character in certain situations. So I can't say I know what you would do or I know you. But let's say in another scenario where your deepest, darkest secrets and things you've been through, your character that's defined you, things that you are not so, proud about. But you're willing to talk about those things. Then now you can be open. You can say, because remember, this is our theme too. Learn and grow. That's what we want to try. Like for me, that's life, because it happens whether we want to or not. You say, what are you talking about? Think about when a person is younger. They have to learn how to walk. They have to learn how to talk. They have to learn how to put on their clothes. They have to learn how to tie their shoes. They have to learn how to chew properly. All this other stuff. Some people still don't do it right today. That's sad though. No, I say, but so that's the learning part. You have to do this to exist in this world. And then remember, you come in the world this big. Some people not even that big. Some people big, but you're small. So you have to grow. No one stays a baby. I don't know if there's a stay a baby syndrome. Even if you're a midget, you grow. So that's the natural process. As soon as you get in this world, is about learning and grow. But people abort that process through life. They think, oh, it's another thing you're supposed to be doing. No. So now we bring it back to that mindset about just learning and growing. That's the theme. So now when that's the theme, you got to ask yourself at every waking moment, hey, am I growing from this? Am I learning from this? What did I learn from this? How did I grow from this? With that mindset, that's all you'll ever do. Anything happen to you, like, you know what? I'm going to learn and grow from this. And it's a beautiful thing, because it's, hey, why would a person want to do that? Now we talking about defining beings. What makes you feel uncomfortable around a person? Is it because their ability, all right, let's say, all right, to the furthest extreme, I know kids strike a heart. If someone is a child molester or something, you're like, all right, this person got a problem. They're a bad person for society. They need to be eradicated. So you're defining them, their character, their actions define them, but we say that's a bad thing. So it's like, all right, how is that person applying the learning and growth process from doing that? It doesn't coincide. So it's like, all right, we'll put that on the bad side. So it's like, all right, this person needs to learn that that's not okay and grow from that. But in that scenario, we talk about basically someone that says they do a bad thing. It's just bad because it's harmful. That's how we're going to define bad. It harms someone. And you can do bad things to yourself. So that's why our definition is left at someone. They don't even have to be someone else. You harming harm. We'll just say that, no matter what it is. We'll say that's the nature of bad, unless in those scenarios, where it may apply. And let's say someone is trying to harm you, and the only way to defend yourself is to harm them. In that scenario, then you know it applies, but in a normal scenario, it usually doesn't. So I know I just went off on a tangent, but to bring all of that back in full fold with the women and men, when you dating out here, standards are okay. If you build yourself to the point, that's your standard. You can't build yourself up to the same point, but saying you'll accept anything. I don't think that's how it works. But this is also how I think it's so easy for people to date and find someone. It's because they're all alike. If I'm not working on myself individually and you're not working on yourself individually and we're just living life, which most people do, it won't be hard to find someone to be in a relationship with. But let's say you're someone like me, and I always say this too, if I was in a relationship with you and 5 years, I'm not that person. So the longer I'm single, the better I am, because I'm always trying to learn and grow and self-development. So, but this is not the case with everyone. They're that same person. Like when they describe their relationship to the new person, they're like, oh yeah, that's it. But then now when a new person describes, like, oh no, no, not with me. They're like, oh, he learned and grew from that. So that's the process that I think most people don't go through. That's why it's so easy to date out here these days, because if you always reinventing yourself and building on yourself, now you've raised a standard for yourself. So that means the standard for people that come around you, especially someone who's going to be in your life predominantly, your standard is going to be higher for them naturally, though. So that's the first thing, man. Work on yourself. Be the best man. Of course, we already know if you're looking good physically, that not only says something about how you think about yourself, but it's a level of discipline. It's a level of consistency. Those things are required to be successful in life, though. So that's already a precursor. And that always not the definition of it. But like I said, a precursor. It's hinting to that. But, we see a lot of in shape losers. So we know that. Don't stop there. And so now first, get your body right. Get your mind right. Always try to be objective in situations. Dang, I want to think of that title of that book. Secrets of I think it was C2. Dang, it's going to kill me. That's crazy. I just listened to the book. Oh, yeah, but yeah, build yourself up to the point to where you continue to raise your standard and you continue to deliver on things that you require. Because so when you went around women that's acting like that, it's easy for you to just let them go and let them go about their way, and you don't have to feel succumb to that, though. Because I hear so many times men get bullied in relationships. Oh, and look, let's go another. This is another thing it brought me to. Men, remember, you're going to get tried as soon as possible when a woman meets you. I don't know what it is. So you always got to be watching out for that trying point, because you may have been tried and she may already she figured you out already, and you was oblivious to it, and you let it go, and then you keep letting it go, and then it's not playing the game, it's just having game and recognizing the game. We're not saying you got to do anything, but it's like, all right, like I give you an example. You're like, Lawrence, what do you mean by try? I was with this woman, and I just met her. I'm like, hey, you want to go get something to drink? I'm like, I got you a drink. We get up to the bar, and she like, oh, I'll pay for the first round. You just tried me. Nope, we're not even doing that. I just said I was buying a drink. Calm down. Let me get you these drinks. Because like, what happened? We don't get to the second round. She bought me drinks. How can I feel like I presented myself to show her the security of I want to take care of things if I never actually did that? So it's like, all right, if I know that I want that to be my first impression, the first round can't be on her. How you like that? You like that? Okay, so that's my example. Little small things like that. And then I take it a step further. I remember I was in Miami, met this woman, she doing her thing or whatever, and I like those type of women, of course, But I would say attract, alike. So it's like, of course, a woman doing her thing is going to be attracted to a man doing her things, usually if we think she got some sense. So we went out to dinner, nice expensive dinner, and she's like, oh, I'll pay. I'm like, damn, these women, they will try you as soon as they meet you. And then, guys, I promise you, you have been tried. This is just example. You have been tried like this and never knew. And then this is what women do. They'll establish a paradigm with you. They'll keep trying you subtly certain areas, and then now they're like, oh, I know who he is. Now they be like this, and you don't even know when you lost respect. So I'm trying to tell you, I'm giving you the game right now. Watch out for these things, because it goes on without you even knowing. Me and my partner from Crib, we always got a saying called the power struggle. Because everybody fighting for the power in the start. The woman wants to see if she can control things if you're a little pussy. And then you actually got to show her, look, I'm a real man. I'm dominant in this fashion. So I like something that I just heard Wes Watson say. You know, the man gives the commitment, you know, but the woman gives the submission. So if a woman already don't kind of look up to you to say, you know what, dang, he doing things, I respect that. Let me learn from him. Let me listen. All right, he can secure physically, financially, mentally, emotionally. Like, he's coming from all these angles. I got no reason to battle him. But remember, for some reason it's NA. I don't even know if they do it intentionally now. They may do. But yeah, they're going to try you. So man, watch out for that though. This is my, I gotta get the fuck away from this nigga. You can't be swerving like that, dog. Come on, man. Get it together. Oh, so yeah. They're going to try you, man. So I just say, watch out for that. Catch it early on. I promise you're going to establish a way better rapport if you are sitting there and you waiting on that moment where they're trying to find you weak, and you just be yourself. You don't got to do nothing else, be yourself, but recognize that's the moment. And you're like, all right, boom. No, I can't let her get away with that. That's how you start making that first impression. Because remember, some women are looking for these things, but most women aren't. Because there's a lot of women that will just sit around you and just let you do whatever, don't try to get to know you, they don't understand the sign, and you doing certain things, it's like, dang, she ain't even picking up like what type of guy I am. She kind of treat me like I'm Joe Small over there. Watch out for that woman too. She don't know the difference. All she can do is luck up and get a good guy with you, but I don't know if you're gonna luck up and get a good woman. You just might have a woman. And you know, a lot of men are not taught this, I don't think, to really know how to fish for a woman. So let's recap what I was saying basically. You want a woman that's not scared to be open with you from the start. You want a woman that shows you respect and she's asking her questions to analyze so she can really understand why she needs to respect you. That's okay for her to do investigations. Remember, you require that. So it's like, yeah, she better be asking me these questions to figure out I'm the guy for her or not the guy for her as soon as possible. So those things. And then that woman that still is willing to be open with you and say, you know what, I got nothing to hide. I grew from that situation. I'm not that woman anymore. Anything in my life was a learning experience and I grew from it. So if he judges me off of these things, then he's the fool. A woman that's thinking like that, she's going to open up to you. She don't have to worry about hiding things from you. She's like, hey, it happened. It is what it is. I grew from that. I'm not that woman anymore. But the woman that keeps saying, oh no, the past don't matter. Why you need to know about my ex? And that, she don't want to tell you about that sorry guy. Women, I'm not comparing you to him, not myself. I just want to figure out remember, everything a person's done up to that point till you meeting them is the reason why they are who they are. So to leave any of those things out that a person has done up to that moment before you met them and they say that don't matter is a farce. That is crap. That is horseshit. Don't believe that. If I'm trying to tell you, if a woman sells you that, dog, that's red flag. Don't do that. Do not do that, because if you learn and grow from situations, those are your defining moments. You need to tell those stories so people can figure out who you are. Because I always tell people the story, and I'm going to end with this. The winner, you always hear their overcome story, how much they had to overcome in spite of all the things they did. And when you start thinking about it, it's like, whoa, they different. Like when Mike Tyson, I heard him say he was doing 1,000 squats a day. But he's Mike Tyson. That's why he's different. Whatever gave him the motivation and energy to be able to accomplish that, that's what makes him different. Remember, that's the story in spite of. You'll hear the loser talk about all the excuses of why they couldn't do it. So now you know the difference. The person that's willing to tell that story know they overcame from it, they learned and grew from it. So that's a defining story they need to be able to tell so you can know who they are. And the person that's scared to tell you that and say it doesn't matter, they never learned and grew from it, and that's the loser. I'll see you soon. I hope you use this to your advantage because I know you will.